Okay, you guys, what is up? The King of Lightning is here today to do the discussion video about Kill la Kill nudity and clothing. Yo, man, Kill la Kill is some crazy shit. Yo, Sama. Oh man, wow. Whew, I can't believe it, man. Ryuko is the sister of Sati, and they're both the daughters of this insanely evil bitch, Ragyo-sama. This is crazy. Alright, but before I get started, okay, two very important things. The first thing, okay, go in the description box down below. There's going to be a link to a picture, and this video is... half of the video is going to be about this picture, okay? Well, actually, not even, like 60% of the video is going to be based on this picture. And what it is that it's a post on this site. Or, well, no, it was created by an individual on Tumblr, okay? The user is Skyboy JFK. And basically, this person talks about Kill la Kill and certain aspects of it that we need to understand. The actual title of this is called Kill la Kill, a visual guide to understanding female empowerment and the male gaze. So that again is going to be in the description box down below. And also in the description box down below is going to be a link to what site? Patreon, people. Go! Patreon.com. Go. Alright, it's very simple. I'm thinking about doing like Patreon only like live streams just for those guys. Alright, I mean, I don't plan on stopping with the content here, obviously, but those guys, they deserved, right? They leveled up, right? They took the Thunderstone and they evolved from a Pikachu to a awesome Raichu. So as the Raichu leader, alright, because I am the fucking King of Lightning, I am going to probably do some, you know, only like some Patreon only live streams there, okay? And that's for the guys who actually, you know, they leveled up. Patrons of moi. So, and of course, we're gonna start giving out gifts. The first one's gonna be PS4, and it hasn't been a week yet since I announced it, but right now it's like, damn, like I really need some more guys to hop in this, because if we can do PS4s, we can do all this other stuff to help support the industries, Kill la Kill, you know, DVDs when they come out, start shipping those out to fans and that kind of stuff. So, if you want in, just hop in, please, God. All right, I'm praying to you. I'm begging you, sweet Jesus, Lord of mercy. All right, fine. Now, I mean, whatever. Let's move on. Let's move the fuck on. This is, I think, awesome. How this person actually goes about explaining certain concepts of Kill la Kill. So let me go with the first post, or the first part of the actual picture. And I'm gonna put it right here for you guys, or like right here. No, I'll put it right here because you want it bigger and better. So let's go. Context: created by Studio Trigger, same guys who made Little Witch Academia, whatever that is. Directed by Hiroyuki Imaishi, and written by Kazuki Nakashima, who respectively directed and wrote Gurren Lagann. It's important to remember, before talking about Kill la Kill, that Gurren Lagann is about masculinity. That's the first part. That's where I was like, huh, really? Because see, Kamina always talked about being a man, okay? He always talked about being a man and always doing something greater along those lines. And then he had that famous quote, "Don't believe in yourself, believe in me, believing in you, believing in yourself." And like that quote changed like 3 times over during the course of the story. And I do see where this is coming from, because Gurren Lagann, I'm not gonna say it's all about. I'm not gonna say that it's all about masculinity, but it is a very key point, at least in the beginning of the story. That's for sure. That's very obvious. Okay, so let's move on. Let's move on. All right. So the next stage of this post, this picture, complaints: degrading, just fan service, overly sexualized. Now, those are, yeah, I mean, people do complain about that, and that's very obvious. Now, granted, I would argue that this is almost in like a lot of anime and manga do over-sexualize women. That is absolutely true. There is no doubt about it. Not only that, but also a lot of anime manga, they make women seem extremely feeble and weak-willed. And they always, at the end of the day, rely on the man to get the job done. A lot of anime manga do that nowadays. So, I'll get into that later. Because there's actually something that the creator of the, Miyazaki pretty much, right? Miyazaki did state something. And he stated something about how there are too many otakus in the current industry of anime and manga. But I'll talk about that later in like another video. So let's move on. So the next point is this, alright? Controversy, okay? The kamui are the main point of contention for most people. These suits exemplify what I call, for simplicity's sake, the male gaze. The male gaze in media is the theory that we view movies and TVs from the eyes of the director, who almost always happen to be males. Thus, we see females in media through the eyes of a male, and often that means framing shots in a sexual manner. Now, that's very good. That's very good, man. In this case, I'll be using it to refer to how we see the women wearing the kamui. All the main features that men tend to sexualize are highlighted here through the cinematography and the clothing. Butts, breasts, thighs, waist, hips, vagina, you name it. So that is the controversy, and that's a very good controversy, alright? I mean, that's also something that Miyazaki pointed out, but again, I'm not going to touch upon that. The thing here is this. I'm a guy, and these are, in fact, the parts that do tend, my eyes do tend to shift towards these parts, whether it's real life or whether it's anime. Especially when it's anime, because it's highlighted so strongly. Now, why is that? Because most of the guys who are creating these animes are in fact guys. And, a lot of dudes are pervs. Alright, now, Japan has some issues. Well, I can't say issues, alright? It's a cultural difference here, okay? But, basically, I see where this is coming from, okay? Because I'm not trying to go this route. I'm trying to talk about Kill la Kill and nudity and clothing within the story itself. And I kind of do have to touch upon things outside of the actual story. But it's important to keep in mind that this is the case in many anime, in many manga, in many shows in general. Not just in Japan, but also in the States, and I'm pretty sure in other parts of the globe too. That's just the way it is. Again, since I am a man, since I am a male, I have a penis. Shocker! I do tend to look and view certain parts of the female body more so than other parts. That's just the way I operate, okay? It's just the way it is. So let's move on. But again, that's a very, very, very good point. Now, the next phase, alright? Explanation, okay? Don't get too mad yet. It's important to remember the context of the narrative. Kill la Kill is a common age story, not unlike many other shonen anime of its kind. That is something I didn't think about. That's very, very true. Okay? However, instead of being about a boy, the main character is a girl experiencing the pressures of experiencing the pressures society puts on maturing young women. So that to me is very good, because when you take a look at one of the first things that you see in the actual anime, it's Satsuki being told by her father that this will be your wedding dress. And when you look at the actual ending of the story, like the first ending, you're seeing Ryuko and she's going about like the city, and one of the things that she stares at significantly, and what you see in the picture, is a wedding dress. So I can't tell you the pressure that society puts on women because I'm not a girl. I haven't experienced that. I mean, as a black male, I have my own pressures. Trust me. Oh, you have no idea. But then again, only other black men in my position would understand that. Just how there are certain expectations for... Well, I'm gonna stop there, okay? But basically, I can't tell you how a woman, especially in Japan, would grow up when it comes to societal expectations and pressures and so on and so forth. But that's also a very good point, nonetheless. It is a coming-of-age story, because Ryuko's 17, and there were a lot of mentions from Aikuro that you're at the age now where you should be interested in these type of things. Like, I believe it was Aikuro, he was kind of like hitting on her, right? And like he was like moving towards her. He was taking off the clothes. He had the whole purple nipple light thing going on. And he said to her, like after she rejected him in a way, he said to her something along the lines of, "You're a 17-year-old girl. You should be more intrigued about these type of things." So that's very good. All right, that's a very good point, because it is a coming of age and, you know, marriage and that kind of stuff. And let's continue. The next part. Upon donning the kamui, which requires an offering of blood, she is instantly transformed into a powerful warrior capable of destroying previously undefeatable opponents. The highly sexualized outfit also causes men to ogle her body, which is very true, because we see dudes all the time staring at Ryuko, staring at Satsuki, because they are exposing themselves in a very, they're just exposing themselves, period. Okay, so the highly sexualized outfit also causes men to ogle her body, and she experiences a lot of shame because of it. And that's very true. The first time round, what we see is that she doesn't like being in the outfit, alright? She thinks it's way too pervy, it's way too exposing, and every time she's in it, she's blushing. Most women who've gone through puberty might be thinking, wow, this sounds familiar. Except for the warrior part, but that would be hella rad. Okay, fine. So hella rad, fine, well, fine, fair enough. But I guess that's the case, because I mean, because girls, they do actually go through puberty earlier than guys. That's true, and they gain the breasts, they gain the bodies quicker than we do. And when we get to that age, we're like, whoa, like she has some big old titties, and then you stare at those. I mean, I could tell you in high school, my eyes were everywhere. Tits, tits, butts, thighs, you name it. I was like, what? Yo, tickle bit. I mean, everywhere, man. But that's the way I am. That's the way it is. So, also a very good point. And let's move on. Again, I'm not a girl, so I can't really tell you how, you know, how they felt during puberty. But, I mean, again, it's natural, it happens. But let's move on to, like, the final phase, okay? The final form. Super Saiyan God mode. Why is this important? The sexualized kamui serves as a metaphor for puberty and what women experience because of it. In other words, the sexualization in this show serves as a function beyond just fan service. It represents the male gaze or lens through which men view women by highlighting the parts that are supposed to matter. Butts, breast, you get it. However, by gaining amazing powers through this transformation, Killer Kurl turns the paradigm of the male's gaze on its head. Instead of becoming helpless, and this is very true, because as I said before, in a lot of anime, it appears as if that the women always have to rely on the men at the end of the day to come in there and save them. Like, for example, alright, in the latest chapter of Bleach, Ryukyuchi, she trains in the Royal Guard Palace for fucking how long? And at the end of the day, she still has to be saved by fucking Nisama. So, it's a lot of times where we see women, especially in shonen, or shonen type manga, or even in seinen, where they are helpless and they need men to come in there and save them. But let's continue, alright? Instead of becoming helpless sex objects to be used by men, women in Kill la Kill are empowered despite it. The point becomes then, you cannot control the lens which you, and this I like a lot, you cannot control the lens through which people view you, but it should never be a cause of shame. In fact, you are stronger because of it. Now that is awesome. That is taking something, that is taking a negative and flipping into a positive. And it's something that I believe that people in real life can actually take and utilize for their own benefits. Especially girls who are growing up, who don't really understand how men in the world operate. So I'm gonna read that one more time, because that's very good. I like that, alright? I like that a lot, okay? You cannot control the lens through which people view you, but it should never, ever be a cause for shame. In fact, you are stronger because of it. That, to me, speaks volumes. Speaks volumes. And you could take it in so many different ways. So many positive different ways, okay? So that right there is the post, and I spent 16 minutes on that. But as we learn later on in the actual series, because this post you can assume that it was actually made, I'm not gonna say like 15 episodes in, probably like 5 or 6, something like that. But we later learn that there's actually a religious concept to this whole notion of nudity and clothing. And this is where Miss Ragyo hops in the whole story. Because Ragyo, she explains that the first sin of humanity was clothing. After they ate the tree of knowledge, the first thing Adam and Eve, or after they ate from, they didn't actually eat the tree, but after they ate from the tree of knowledge, the first thing Adam and Eve did was put on clothes. They were embarrassed. They were embarrassed by their nudity, by their nude selves. And in order to hide their shame, they put clothes on. So when Ryuko, for the first time, she puts on the kamui, she is embarrassed because she is exposing parts of her body that would normally be covered up. Now, of course, Satsuki-sama, she has a different notion, has a different mindset, and she even states, like, you shouldn't be, like, I will bare my breast to the world if I have to. Exuding indomitable confidence, which actually winds up being the key to unlocking the full power of what? Senketsu. Ryuko doesn't unlock the full power of Senketsu until she gains the confidence to actually bear her body from the world, which means that in a sense, she is more pure because of that. You see, within the context of the Bible, nudity is purity, and clothing is sin. So, it's a very nice concept going on here, okay? How not only do we have this coming of age story, and we have this male gaze that is explained and described within the actual post, the picture, but also you have the concept of religion that was thrown in later on in the series, and I'm pretty sure is going to be highlighted even more so because we're only on episode 18 and there are 7 episodes to go until the series or the season finale. So what I can say is that I kind of do prefer the religious part over the male view gaze part. Even though the male view gaze part is more important, is more quintessential when it comes to how we as men operate and how young girls around the age of like 13, 14, or 12 to 17, that age range, how they have to grow up with certain expectations and certain pressures put upon them. But because I cannot relate to those pressures because I'm a guy, I find the religious context more important. Because you guys, if you haven't seen my content, or if you guys are new to me, you guys know that I have certain issues with religion. I really, really, really do. And the concept of purity within the Bible and how humanity over the course of the years has been swayed by these aliens, the life fibers, to move, to pursue clothing, I think is very significant when it comes to humanity's greatest sin. Humanity's first sin. So, I mean, and that's why I believe also that in the Bible, one of like the biggest sins in the Bible is wearing something of two cloths, or like, wearing something of two fabrics of two cloths, something along that lines. Where it's like if you wear like a leather belt and like a cotton shirt, like that's a sin, or some notion like that. So it's very important to keep that in mind, that there's an actual deeper religious concept to this whole notion of clothing and purity. But at its fundamentals, that's what it appears to be in terms of that aspect. Nudity is purity, and clothing is sin. Clothing is one of the greatest sins. So that is also very, very, very cool. So even though Kill la Kill seems to be an over-the-top, fast-paced, holy crap, what the hell's going on anime, there are a lot of deep aspects within the anime that you have to really try to dig deep and find. And this person did a really good job of explaining the Kill la Kill male view and femininity and that kind of concept, where in which we have Tang and Toppa, the same guys who make Kill la Kill, and at the beginning there's a lot of masculinity going on there. So I am done. I am done. Give me your thoughts. What do you guys think? Are there any other concepts in the story that I have missed, that I have overlooked? And if they are, I'll do some more discussions. I'll do some more discussion videos about it. I'll also do a live stream of Kill la Kill sometime in the future. That's for sure. You can bet your ass on that. So I'm done. King of Lightning. Be sure to, of course, rate the video, comment, and subscribe as always. Peace. Have a nice day.